game on 4 lakes.
Let's go. Let's hop in. Let's see what we got. HRE versus Chinese. Can B amaze us here? Can he float like a butterfly and sting like a bee? He's going to have to, because I got to say, Lidakor, I've seen this matchup. The way it plays out, you sit on your ass and play with your villagers like the Chinese always do. And it ends very badly against the HRE.
Indeed, B. Wait a second, colors are messed up apparently over here. Core, hello. That.
Okay, that's better. You can't have Chinese in the game and not give them red. You know. If we were playing by Warhammer rules, actually, giving someone the red would make them go faster. Did you know that? That might be an appropriate buff for the Chinese, because I gotta say, in these early games, Lidakor, when we have seen the Barbican rushes, they do try them without the wheelbarrow, and it does get spotted very quickly.
Indeed, it does. Looks like B is only operating with 1 scout for the time being, whereas on the other side, Beastyqt is working on with 2. Obviously, as you pointed out, it's relatively easy to spot such an aggression, but you want to be 100% certain that you spot it. So having 2 scouts over here is mandatory for Beastyqt. That information warfare is gonna be key.
I'm in the mind of a Chinese player here. I understand fully what they were doing, Lidakor. You could have a second scout, yes. But second scout equal 1 less villager for outpost Barbican rushing.
True. I agree with you on that one. Looks like we're gonna have some fishing going on here for Beastyqt on the northern pond, and B is also going for his own fish here, so a little bit more of a slower pace start over here for B. He doesn't want to go all in on that fast feudal Barbican drop. If you wanted to go really aggro, you could just completely ignore going for a dock, go all villagers on food and gold, get to feudal age as soon as possible and go for the Barbican. We have seen some players doing that, but it's almost like an all-in style approach. If you do that, you leave your eco so exposed, and your eco behind that is gonna be so fragile.
Also, here I am cheering Barbican like, son, 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 son. And then I look at the map and realize actually it's a very hard Barbican rush. He has to go all the way around the back of BC's base to block the gold. So quite an unfortunate spawn for the Chinese here. Means he might have to go back to drawing board and look for some alternative strategy other than maybe creating a little prison cell for BC to be stuck in.
Indeed, as you pointed out, gold is at the back, forest at the back as well, so there is a minimal amount of resources that you can deny here if you're playing B. So a single Barbican here is going to be insufficient. If you want to really do damage with a tower rush, you gotta actually use actual towers rather than just going for the Barbican itself. But Beastyqt, he's already posturing outside the base of B over here, so he knows very well that B is known for tower rushing. He wants to make sure that he catches the villager, should B decide to do something like that.
Why is it that we always see the non-Chinese players with the Chinese statue in the town center? Is it so that the Chinese in some way kind of symbolically get wins for once?
No, it's because you see most players with only that conqueror statue. And players who play Chinese, they don't get to conquer.
There we go. Which means you're pretty bad at the game, because everyone gets the conqueror these days. There you go.
Indeed, as Core is showing that beautiful statue to us. Whereas on the other side, we do have the Jaguar.
And he's going to have to be like a Jaguar. Fast, reliable. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds.
The pride of British car making.
In 80 seconds. Jesus Christ, they're so slow. Where is the wheelbarrow? There's so many of them.
Oh, look at that swarm. How many is that? 4, 6, 7, 9 villagers being pulled here. B really wants that Barbican to go up. And Beast's response over here, he's the one going for the Dark Age barracks this time around. Is it gonna come in time, though?
It's gonna be tight, that's for sure. Remember that B has to go all the way around the back to drop the Barbican on the gold, preferably on the wood as well. Now, his villagers can build up fast. If he can get up to 3, 4 spearmen, maybe it's good enough. To be fast on this, though. Villagers. Screw the spearmen. We've got shivs. It's basically a spear without the long stick. And an outpost now coming out from B as he panics. And the aggro Beasty. Whoops. Oh, wait, B.
He's bailing on it. He wants to cancel. He doesn't want this tower to be completed. He wants to cancel it. This is not a good tower for him. This is an emergency tower he's only building because he wants to make sure those villagers survive, but he's gonna have to bail on this entire project here. Villagers have been pulled. Spearmen are out there. He's trying to Barbican, but this is not going up.
One villager being peeled back here.
He could lose it. He's going to lose the Barbican.
He can't lose it. It's just stuck here now. But if he now doesn't complete it, he gets none of his resources back, so he has no choice.
I don't think he can complete it.
Villagers diving. Beasty, if he plays the long side of this, he can just keep torching it.
Yeah, he can keep torching it.
Oh my God.
For now, he needs to deny the villagers building it, but B has to complete this. He doesn't complete this, he's going to lose his feudal age resources.
I mean, this could end up being game. B, he's going to complete the Barbican, but he's not going to be happy because look at the damage being done to it. Like, if BC continues the torch down, it doesn't matter. Like, it's going to go up and instantly go down.
You're saying that, but is it going up even? Tower right next to it, getting cancelled, but it also took some damage. And now you have the Prelate out there to heal. Villagers running away. If that tower goes down, this is not going to be a Barbican that goes up.
He's trying to aggro the ball.
That's a nice one.
It's a nice one, but like your eco isn't going to look too good after this, Lidakor. So many villages wasted. Sure, there's a lot of idle time for Beastie as well, but he buffers you off. He blocks the Barbican and blocks your defenses.
Oh, Boar being aggroed. Remember, Boars can do a ton of damage to towers even. Oh,
the old man. Run, little brother.
Run! I don't think Boars aggro on buildings unless the building specifically shoots them, though.
No, they don't. If they're the only thing in range, they'll go for it. But otherwise, they go for
any
squishy target instead. Yeah, he's had enough of this. He's like, get out of here. I've got some private business with your villagers. Stay out of my way.
Oh, what a madness over here. We talked about the fact that B loves chaos. The problem is that this chaos is right now not helping him because he is stuck in Dark Age.
It's getting worse because B, like, he can still tech up anywhere if he gathers gold at home. Look at the northern dock where BC's got his economy. B is setting up a dock there. So even if he buffers this away, he's going to lose his economy.
Oh my goodness, the absolute madman. And this is the crazy thing here for the Chinese. You technically don't need this Barbican for feudal. You can go with the academy. Beastie is now up to feudal age, but that Barbican is not going up. Feudal age being denied as it is here, and B is gonna be stuck in Dark Age for a little longer.
You know, some people say this isn't clean Age of Empires. It doesn't
look at the villagers.
Pretty. Oh,
they got away.
God, look at the refund. B, he's got so much resources.
Actually, like, you will think I'm crazy right now. But I think B is leading. He's got a 13 eco lead, and the Prelate is idle. The Prelate is idle, and Beastie... I think Beastie's yet to find a dock. This Barbican is once again gonna be a complete failure. But... Cancel.
Just cancel
Try the academy back at home.
Oh my god, he needs an academy because he needs to learn a lesson.
He's losing resources again.
Come on! Well, he was building at home, so there we go.
Yeah, at this point you go fast castle.
So when he started building that Barbican, he had almost 1,200 resources. So yeah, he was doing both, but still, like, the Barbican being a fat fail again is just getting ridiculous.
He's gonna go castle age with those resources now.
He is. And the dog got spotted. Oh, Beastie. Oh, buddy. He was trying to put the walls up. Too little, too late, my friend. B instantly queues up the junk. It's a rush across, but guess what this opens up an opportunity for? B's gone in for the Barbican again.
Oh, no way. And remember, Beastie also had to pull a lot of villagers. He had a lot of idle time. The Prelate was not working. He's gonna have a tower now out here to help. And more importantly, B can now go for tech stores for those villagers to keep them alive a little longer. And the junk, being so cheap, is going to allow him to pressure Beastie's food eco. This chaos is benefiting B here, not Beastyqt, ladies and gentlemen.
And one junk can do a lot of damage to the fishing eco, so even if you now blitz that dock, it doesn't matter. You'll still hit hard. Like, look at this. The pepper down arrows can almost just snipe out the boats before they peel back to safety each time. It's going to delay, it's going to slow you down, and while you slow down, B is escalating fast towards a quicker castle time than the HRE.
Oh. And it's perfect, because right now the only thing that Beastie has is a barracks with Spearman, and the Chinese, they'll be more than happy to just go Castle Age, go Palace Guards over here. This is looking better and better here for B, because if the fishing eco is gone from Beastie, he's going to be sitting on a 15 eco lead with the same Castle Age timing as an HRE, and let's keep in mind,
Oh my
he's in
God.
Song Dynasty.
Let's keep in mind that he wants Trebuchet straight away. He's not
Oh my
waiting around,
goodness,
folks.
let's go!
Build up coming out.
Oh, and it's
Wait,
Ragnitz.
okay.
It's not even a Burgrave.
So quick little TED talk about HRE. Why the hell y'all keep building Ragnitz at the front of your base? You know emergency repairs don't work, right? Come on. Do you want to lose your relics?
I mean, right now it's not even about whether it's a Ragnitz or like where the Ragnitz is placed. It's about whether it's a Ragnitz or a Burgrave, because you might be able to sneak out for relics, sure thing, but like you're gonna get overrun. You even see the Barbican, or well, the astronomical clock tower right next to the Barbican. So it's, I think it's blatantly obvious for Beasty. He needs army on the battlefield very soon, because he could easily find himself being overrun by Palace Guards in the next 1 minute.
And Beasty, you know, he does a lot of build guides. He build orders. He shares at the internet right now. I think he's flicking for his playlist because he hasn't got one for this yet. And I don't blame him. Who would have one for this? The way that B has renewed this aggression time and time again, utilizing 4 lakes to pad his eco elsewhere while sacrificing villages left, right, and center. And speaking of those ecos, this junk is still killing ships. Yeah, finally Beasty sneaks in, but B doesn't care at this stage. His economy is so big and he's done so much more damage to you.
And he's walling off the right side, which will allow him to keep those docks alive a little longer. And he just needs one junk to discourage this aggression here. He's still fine. He's going to keep his fishing eco alive a little longer than Beasty, and now this yields him a 21 eco lead overall.
Oh, B can petition to change his name to Beasty here because he's getting one up on the Beast himself. Beasty now transitioning hard into the Knights. He's exposed the weakness of what B's done here. B has only just built his first land military unit. 1 crossbowman. Not going to be too effective against the building tide of HRE troops that are about to flood across this map.
And you do have to keep in mind, what is he doing? Like, B is piling up a bunch of resources here. What for? Don't tell me he's trying to go Yuan Dynasty. Like, B is stabilized, or Beasty is stabilizing here, rather. He has 2 relics in the Ragnitz Cathedral. His situation isn't looking beautiful.
It's his wood. It's his wood. Look at his wood. B doesn't have enough wood coming in to, like,
he needs to turn the food into
ships.
something. Like, he's still floating a ton of food. So lacking food does not justify him floating 800 food right now.
You're asking too much. B so far, like, he's a magician for doing this. He's not an alchemist. He can't just turn a resource into another resource, Lidakor. That would require, like, some crazy sort of trading building.
Like a market, for example. Ooh, dock gets finished over here. Chinese villagers coming into play. And now the war chunk makes an appearance. Beasty won't have a fishing eco, and B still does. And now crossbow numbers slowly increasing over here. Perfect response to what Beasty is going for, which is knights.
Yeah, slowly definitely is the word I'd use, Lidakor, because about 1 minute and 20 seconds ago, I'm pretty sure it's still 1 crossbowman. So I'm glad to see he's doubling up the count, because B has been a little bit of a greedy boy, finally sort of recalibrating here. No E-repairs used by Beasty against the Treb attacks, because it is admittedly just an outpost. We'll save it for more valuable buildings, but Beasty right now on his way up to 4 relics. And at that stage, like, he'll have a way of using a trade post himself.
I feel like B is missing out on an opportunity over here. He's just too hard focused on that northern pond, trying to still contest it, but realistically, Beasty has no fishing eco left over there. Now the priority are the relics, and Beasty is very successful getting those relics in, also very successful with the raids, and suddenly this game swings back into the favor of Beastyqt, thanks to these knights and thanks to the prelates picking up those relics tirelessly.
Did B realize that you can build military units to the Chinese, or is this was this a villager-only challenge that you had to sidestep from in the end?
Oh, finally, some barracks being dropped. Better late than never.
There we go. It's a good idea. I find it's usually a good idea to read the room when all your villagers are dying and build a rack. So I'm glad this is coming out. Admittedly, the delay is actually to Beasty's advantage. As sure, his eco on the water has suffered, but his land eco is looking beautiful.
I have to say, I really dislike how B is just so hard locked on those trebuchets. Because, as you said, he doesn't have any military on the land, and trebuchets, if there is any civilization that this play won't work against, it's the HRE. They can always buffer this up with emergency repairs, and behind this one, B is now struggling mightily keeping his own eco functional.
That's the thing about trebuchets. Like, if you can keep them alive long enough, they actually buy themselves back in damage done to your opponent. Yes, they might not always kill buildings, but someone has to repair, and repairs cost resources. Where the HRE can be quite busted, and mark my words, they will be busted with the upcoming patch, is their ability to do it for free with emergency repairs. Especially when down the line, we're going to be talking about keeps and other structures costing stone, and the HRE being the only civ that can get that repair without expending stone.
That is going to be a massive, massive power spike to the HRE. Oh man, and you know what else is massive? 4 relics with the Ragnitz Cathedral, and of course, 1 sacred site as well here for Beastyqt. The pace has slowed down tremendously over here for B, and now you see, he's not even getting any benefit from those war chunks in the north anymore. Springgold's now out there, no fishing ships for Beasty. Beasty has transitioned to a fully land-based eco right now, and a land-based army, whereas B is yet to do that.
Yeah, and speaking of things that wouldn't be massive, in fact, you'd have to pay someone to tell you they're massive. Look at that Imperial official count right now for B. He finally builds a second one up, but he was down to 1, and that's why his wood line was looking abysmal. Didn't have any supervised after he got butchered there. That heavy delay set him back substantially. Looks like he's starting to get his infrastructure online to get to a land army, and might be able to buffer back against Beastie, but don't underrate the power of having 2 relics in a Regnitz, and 2 that you can actually keep spare to drop inside keeps.
And the problem for B is that you get the impression that he just doesn't know what to do right now. Like, he's very slow building up a standing army despite floating a ton of resources, and he's giving a lot of room for Beastie to recover. Beastie has taken a massive beating at the 10-15 minute mark. But ever since then, he's been recovering, and now we're talking about comparable economies for the two, plus of course 4 relics for the HRE, and if Beastie is left untouched for a few more minutes, we're going to be talking about Imperial Age here even for the HRE player.
B, good idea. Problem is Beastie doesn't like wood. In fact, he has 0 woodworkers right now. He's backed them entirely off because one issue for Beastie is he has gone full aggressive with his entire army, and well, his sneaky economy is going to be spotted out by Bees. He's starting to take control of each of the different dock areas via these war junks. Wishes he had one at home, though, so he could strike down a lot of these knights. Villagers able to garrison as they move back towards safe points, but not enough spearmen to control this area. And it's funny that for a man who spent so much wood walling off his lakes, he hasn't walled off his base.
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up. Right now, Beastie has the mobility advantage. If B could get his base walled off, it would be much easier for him to put up pressure on the eco of Beastie here, because it's not like Beastie's army is massive. It's not like a devastating army that Beastie possesses. It's just the fact that he's got the mobility advantage, so he's the one forcing B to defend, not the other way around.
Yeah, funnily enough, Beastie is the B in this one, right? Like, he's actually stinging him in these locations. He's being annoying. But it's not like I'm being attacked by a lion. I'm not going to die in a few seconds, right? I might die if I'm allergic to bees, but maybe that's the issue for B at this rate. It does feel like he's allergic to raids. He doesn't seem to have a good answer to them still, but maybe that can change. The spearman line is starting to escalate, and also alongside this, the siege is bulking up. Not just Trebs, but now Nesta bees being produced as well.
Yeah, spear numbers slowly increasing over here, and Beastie is yet to add anything that deals with those. Finally snipes a Trebuchet over here.
So much for that siege.
yeah, let's be honest, that Trebuchet was a complete waste of resources. Like, even if it took down a barracks...
It done more than the Nesta bees. But yeah, they were both
True.
waste.
Did it do more than that, actually? Like, if you get a volley out with a nest of bees, at least you damage the cavalry, whereas the Trebuchet, all the damage that it possibly could have done was negated and offset by emergency repairs.
A difficult situation here for B. Really not reaching that critical mass anytime soon. And I can't help but feel that BC might just decide he's got a little bit too much gold and it's time to feed the children of the world. And before you know it, we might be looking at a love hotel that will give him the economical lead.
Yeah, Beastie does not have pond control right now. He's just now expanding to the right side. He's floating a tremendous amount of gold, lacking food. On the other side, B has a lot of food, but he's lacking gold.
Well, right now,
not a good engagement here for B either.
BC's just going to clean him up. Like, there's just way too many knights for you to run in like this.
Yeah, B seems disorganized, I'm not gonna lie here. I feel like the problem here for him is that he simply is not given room by Beastie to organize his thoughts and just settle down for a brief moment, think about what he wants to do next. Because, you see, For 5 minutes now, he's been floating tremendous amounts of resources, never converting that to the army, and you get the impression that he's just very slow when it comes to building up any meaningful force on land. He's got great pawn control, but this map requires you to play for the pawns and the land at the same time, and right now, B is only doing one of those two.
Now, you say B is disorganized. Is it not just possible he is a B and we just don't understand Bs? They look kind of crazy and manic when we watch the swarm them, because it kind of feels like he's swarming intentionally, because if all the attention is in Beastie's base, B can maybe do something the Chinese like to do way too often in games. Imperial Dodge.
Possible. Although, like, I'm not gonna lie, I would massively dislike imping right now here for B.
Oh, okay. Ignore that. I think he's actually going for the mass spearman approach here. Actually,
finally.
He just got military academy as well. This is going to be fast.
Oh yeah, gotta go fast.
God.
Look at that swarm! I think he had like 5 spearmen a second ago. Now he's up to 27. I feel like he found the spearman hotkey finally. I was like, wait a second, I'm floating 1300 food, so might as well just spam click the spearman button, because it's not like Beastie has anything that deals with those.
So he was at, I think it was about almost 2k food and around 800 gold. And what he decided to do instead is like, oh wait, military academy plus fishing and then unlimited spears. And yes, I actually like this approach. Go for pop cap on spears and die, because right now BC is only building cavalry and he's giving you the easiest counter you could ever ask for in a match point game.
Yeah, and oh, Beastie's stacking into Landsknechte though, so B's on a timer. He's on a timer. I think if Beastie's given 2 minutes here, those spearmen will be destroyed to oblivion. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you legitimately have 2 minutes here for B to do anything with those spears. Otherwise, they will die the most utter and painful death that we have seen in the history of Age of Empires 4.
But Lida, hear me out. Nest of Bees.
I don't see any of those. Like, you know. But I would love to see Nest of Bees.
Yeah, I think because like Nest of Bees kill Langsec easy peasy. Like, it's not even close. It's actually depressing. Like, any HRE player will tell you there's nothing that's more annoying than like your opponent getting to 5 Nest of Bees and all of these 160 resource glass cannons instantly dying. It just depresses you, makes you wonder what you're meant to do with your Civ. And B could make that transition, but in the meantime, he's making a transition into mass Palace Guard now, looking for a unit that can quickly flood through Beastie's base.
It's definitely a lot better at this point. He noticed that Beastie doesn't have any knights, so Spearman won't do that much anymore. And Palace Guards, they are a lot sturdier.
Beastie's teching.
Oh, this is risky. You're attacking against 73 army. Look at the rate at which B's army numbers are increasing. It was 68 just a second ago. 78, 79. He's gonna be at 100 in a blink of an eye. This could be the perfect timing here for B, despite the fact that Beastie has 47 army. Do keep in mind, he has 4 Springalds, a Hawk, and 2 Trebuchets. It says it's 50 army for Beastie, but in reality, it's much, much lower than that.
One side teching, the other is playing Tekken here as B is looking to punch, kick, and scratch his way to a victory. Going in deep, the Palace Guard. Langsneck there, they answer him out. I'm going to push him back for the meantime, but B, he's starting closing. And B, the next step in strategy is to drop a keep. If he can get that layer back up, the keep plus the Barbican, and enclose Beast in his own base, it might be a tomb of his own design.
And look at the flood coming out here. Still 68 army. Here come the villagers.
Oh my god.
Those are gonna be here for that keep drop. Trebuchet is set up though. You gotta be really careful where you place that keep.
He's going in fast.
Oh yeah, he wants a very aggressive keep. Oh, he's gonna get wrapped around.
The backstab.
Oh, the perfect
Needs to react quickly here.
Oh,
get through,
imagine Landsknechte here. Oh,
Man
this
first.
is painful.
Women and children, all look after yourself. Palace Guard holding the choke point, but not well enough. He's gonna get through. Torches out onto the trebuchets, making sure
here
they
come the
can't keep.
Oh no, villagers.
Oh no, run! Fly, you fools!
Run!
And the keep, he didn't cancel the keep yet. The torches are out. Look how little's been done to her right now. That's gonna be a heavy stone loss. B won't be able to go for a secondary keep here. He cancels and only gets about 600 stone back from it.
He wants to get rid of the pass of Schwabia here so desperately. He knows that is Beastie's way back into the game. Second keep getting dropped though. Trebuchet is not being set up to deal with that.
This could be fast. This could be very fast. Right next to Palace of Swabi, blocking out the reboom. Beasty, single trap, not good enough. Palace Guard already on top, but forcing it back. And the Palace Guard throwing away their lives to keep the Langstack busy. Langstack, they cannot do on their own. Their health pool is too small. Their effective DPS in this fight is not high enough. And therefore, B will push back.
And they are too fragile. That's the main problem here for Beasty. B can just swarm in with Palace Guards, and sure thing, even if you take good trades over here for B, or Beasty rather, you simply can't replenish your army at a rate that the Chinese cannot match. That is the power of the Chinese Imperial officers supervising those barracks, and now we're up to 45 Palace Guards against only 2 Landsknechte, 4 Springolds. How is Beasty going to survive this one? He's about to lose his production even.
You can't, because you can't reboom. You have no map control. You've got 1 of 3 ponds. Look at the other ones. B is fishing in 3 different locations with fishing eco boosted up via research. That's why he can afford unlimited man-at-arms. And Beasty, yeah, maybe you can afford the Langstack, but your food demand is too high when you went for Knights as well. He cannot afford anything. Emergency repairs will delay this, but not for long. And now Beasty will turn your base into his own as he sets up archery ranges to bulk his army up further.
127 eco right now for B, half of that being fishing. Beasty is down to 57 with no chance to recover because the Palace of Swabia is about to be set on fire. Emergency repairs unavailable. Imperial Age landmark for Beasty is gonna be gone here, and now B is pop cab, so he can think about Imperial Age himself. B is turning on cruise control, and it would take a miracle right now for Beasty to recover from this.
Oh my god, these Palace Guard are hungry. And they only feast upon the blood of the Germans. Beasty in trouble. Primary TC being targeted. Cannon fire being ignored though. Big mistake by B, gonna take a heavy hit there. And the aggressive keep drop right in the primary TC. He says if Beasty won't call GG, I'll do it for him. Damage in. Palace Guard. I think B is at risk of losing the bulk army because he's ignoring this cannon placement.
Yeah,
okay,
he has to respect that. A lot of Palace Guards are heavily damaged out there. He's trying a second keep though on the starting DC. He wants to get rid of the emergency repairs.
He's not reacting to Langstack either. A few Langstack can cut him down while he tries to torch here. And I think he's made a critical mistake here.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
Oh my god, the outpost kept alive. The repairs just too fast here. The Palace Guard are targeting down everything but what they need to here. Keep will at least go up on the primary TC, so he blocks out both of the villager production methods for Beasty. But Beasty still somehow holding on despite it all. And all because of this, the MVP tower with the cannon.
The MVP tower that still has emergency repairs available, even villagers being pulled here. Now switching to archers coming in here from B against the Landsknechte. Men-at-Arms or Palace Guards rather still in decent numbers though, but Beasty definitely was able to buffer this up, slow this down a little bit, and he's yet to tap out from the game. He's got bombards, keep that in mind. So Beasty, we know he's not a quitter. He's going to try to hold on until there is no chance for him to win, and he may have set himself up into a position where there might be some room for recovery.
And, you know, you just saw that outpost as well, that B threw away an army trying to blitz in the end. E-repairs keeping it alive. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MTV. Most tower value. Doesn't get better than this. Fortified up, E-repairs, as well as a cannon emplacement. B, yes, it looks like he should be in an easy GG state, forcing Beasty out, but because of that tower, more than anything else right now, Beasty is holding on.
He's holding on, but he's not getting from 1 to 2 here, simply because sustainability is not on his side. With that keep out there, even his starting TC is being camped down. He cannot add economy right now, other than fish on the right side. His Pass of Shrabi is gone, his starting TC is being denied. He's down to just 47 economy, with B getting closer and closer to Imperial Age. And I feel like the snowball is about to begin here with the Chinese, once B reaches Imperial.
What would be suggesting that, Lidakor? Would it be like these 7 archery ranges waiting to pump out premium units for Imperial Age, maybe? Because they've been sitting there for a while. They haven't pushed any units yet.
Or how about 3 siege workshops right next to the starting gold mine of Beastyqt, ready to pop out some bombards?
Wait, he didn't rebuild the...
He didn't. Clock tower was missing.
Clock tower, right? Because I'm trying to think, like, the cost of clock tower is quite high to repair because of health pool. Is it cheaper to have 3 siege workshops? It actually might be.
I guess the trade-off that you're taking there is the HP on your siege weapons that you make. Because you are not just trading off the resources, you are trading off your ability to make clock tower weapons instead of making the standard Siege Workshop weapons.
But if there's anything we can see about what we've seen from B so far, I don't think he really cares about the health of his units, considering this tower is still standing.
That is indeed the case. He's trying to save those trebuchets out there from those nasty springolds. He's saving them from the springolds. They're being chased down by the 3 springolds Beasty has, and truth be told, Beasty's about to get rid of that final keep, and if you look at the army numbers of B, I'm no longer impressed.
I think that's the first time I've seen a granary placed on a deer stack. I actually don't. I can't recall one instance I've seen that before.
I wonder why.
Isn't it usually Chinese clear up the deer by now? I guess this is a signal that B might be cleaning up those fish a little bit too quick.
Hand cannoneers now in the mix over here. You gotta be careful though, because those could be immediately camped down by Landsknechte.
And they take so long to produce, so you can't even get the first wave out that can defend this. Like, all your archery ranges are wasted. B may have been a bit too gluttonous, a bit too ignorant. I actually can't believe it, but I'm convinced at this stage that if this happens, this whole comeback, it comes down to one outpost. One outpost to rule them all.
He may have gone a little too greedy, you know. It's this so close yet so far scenario. He probably felt like he's about to win the game. He probably felt like Beast is just gonna tap out, but we talked about this one. Beast is not a quitter. He's going to fight it out to the bitter end, and he has found himself a possible recovery arc over here. It still will take a lot of time for Beasty, but he's repairing the Pass of Schwabia, which once again pulls him closer and closer to the next step of his recovery, which is building up that land-based eco, now with the Pass of Schwabia back online.
And you can see Beasty, like, still got 56 eco in it, isn't fully flatlining. To what you're saying, like, I've talked to him. He's a guy, like, he doesn't, in his mind, like, he knows why certain people GG out when they're, like, 1% favorite to win, but he doesn't understand it, or he doesn't empathize with it. His thought process is, even if he thinks he's got a 1% chance left, he'll see it through, and for good reason. Here, in a match point situation, like, what else you got to do? Sit around making videos about why outposts aren't fair? Like, no. Instead, you want to stay in the tournament, so you're going to fight tooth and nail for it here. But B is not going to make it easy. This time, having his siege workshops in a safe location will allow him to start stockpiling bombards that are superior to the HREs.
Yeah, part of the reason why Beasty doesn't want to quit over here is because he's still sitting on 4 relics with the HRE and the Ragnitz Cathedral. So, truth be told, he really is sitting there like saying, okay, there's no way I lose with 4 relics in command of the HRE. Chinese late game is about to kick in, but we do have to keep in mind that gold is going to become a luxury commodity very, very soon. And if you take a look, the large gold mine that is still untouched in neutral ground is on the far right. That could be contested by Beasty. Beasty's got infinite gold thanks to the Ragnitz Cathedral, and Beasty also has 2 small gold mines still left inside his base. Whereas for B, gold access could be a concern very soon, and Chinese without gold, not as powerful as they would be when they have unlimited access to gold.
Well, hold on a second, Lidakor. It seems that B, he intercepted the German transmissions and may have cracked the Enigma here. We've got Nesta Bees coming out. Nesta Bees, that is a brilliant counter to what Beasty's building. If he goes up to 4 or 5 of these, bye-bye Langsneck.
Indeed, you gotta be careful now, because even just a single nest of bees can deal with many of those Landsknechte, and Beast's eco is still, to a certain extent, a little fragile, so you really can't afford to lose those glass cannons, the Landsknechte. They are extremely pricey. Like, if you just think about how pricey they are for an infantry unit, they might be the most expensive infantry unit in the entire game. Okay, wait a second. I would go beyond with that thought. Well, oh yeah, like...
Sorry, I was thinking about
there. No.
You mean melee,
I was
right?
thinking about melee infantry, but no. Something completely different crossed my mind and I got distracted by it. Why on the earth we have a transport ship for B? He's got a transport ship, and I won't go past idly by that.
Where, though?
Yeah, you're great. Like,
it's in one of his home lakes. Oh, wait, what?
Oh, let's go!
The sneaky boys! Yeah, but there's nothing here.
This was an easier landing than D-Day, that's for sure, but it's also gonna be less effective.
Bravo 6 going dark. Oh, wait, we found him!
Target
Execute
acquired.
mission! Order 66! Purge the HRE!
Beast is not reacting because he never is expecting palace guards from that direction.
He's busy chasing Palace Guard in the opposite direction.
It's like, where did these guys come from?
Just look at those bodies on the gold vein. They almost tapped it dry. They're like, we do it all for the gold. Now, Beasty, it's not going to kill him outright. Remember, he's still got the pass of Swab here. But B has the bow chance, baby. Let's go.
Springle trying to deal with that. Fishing ships being pulled for the repairs. Keep in mind that Beasty, he's still stuck inside his base with limited space and limited access to food. That is the Achilles heel of Beasty here. That is access to food. Choppity.
Now Bravo
Let's
Force's
go.
turn. They're ambushing from the forest.
He's swinging the sword to the villagers.
He needs to be careful. That cannon, remember, he forgot about last time. Speaking of cannons, the bombards come in, as in the bombards and the bow chads on the side, starting to attack the infrastructure. Langsdeck trying to hold the choke point, push back in the meantime. The Palace Guard retreating away. Crawling continues. B behind this, setting up more static defenses, limited bombards for Beasty, but this is CGQT. He will not be beaten in that department. However, if he ignores them, if he neglects them, it might turn against him. Palace Guard not able to clean up as they get swept through by the Langsdeck. But for the moment, B still having Beasty with the long and curlies.
I actually wonder if the Ragnitz Cathedral is within range of that bow Sean, because that's going to be a big factor to look at here. Beasty is able to buffer up this aggression on land right now. The question is whether he can safely protect that Ragnitz Cathedral, because that is his lifeline right now. His eco looks like a train wreck if you exclude the relics. He's holding on for a time being, but how long? Wait.
556 more seconds. Stop timer. The little bow chad who couldn't. Can't see the
I wonder if he has chaser cannons.
Can you attack ground with bow ones?
I don't know.
I don't think you can, right? Oof, if you could.
He has chaser cannons.
Yeah, that's a
he
fair
might need
point,
line of
actually.
sight. Yeah, this is something cool
Navigator
showing us.
Lookout. Yeah, like it's an extra 4 range. You'd definitely be able to see. They should just rename this Go to Specsavers. I mean, it's a missed opportunity here. Just go see an opticians. Get some glasses, little bow chad. Oh no. leave fast.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh, sorry, that's an insult. You can't leave fast. You're about to on.
B's a little slow recovering the losses that he has had. You see, he's still at 170 population out there. He has lost a massive amount of villagers. History might repeat itself over here because the... Landsknechte!
Sir? Kind sir, have you got a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, the Holy Roman Emperor? No? Okay. Well, then you're infidel. Die! He got the Langsdeck. He actually targeted... What a mad... Like, he actually took out the Langsdeck intentionally straight away. Good God,
that's a big save. Worse. Imagine if there were like 5 more Landsknechte there. Could have been like minus 25 villagers, and I think it happened once already, because I did see a bunch of dead villagers next to this castle rubble before. Might have been deleted villagers, but might have been Landsknechte slaying all of them. B still with the population lead, and if this is a recovery for Beasty, it's gonna be a long one, especially because D-Day number 2 edition is coming up here. Once again, Palace Guards looking for a landing.
Lidakor, I think you're missing the key point here. This is not D-Day. This is B-Day.
That's a good one. Well, I just wanted to appreciate your dad jokes. It wasn't really good, but I just wanted to make you feel good because you rarely drop in dad jokes, so you know.
I mean, when they're staring you in the face. Apparently, this hasn't been staring Beasty in the face long enough because it's going to work again. He once again hasn't actually layered himself against this. Oh God. Is he going to 2-prong assault this again? He might.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Because at this point, it's about to trickle into the eco. It's attrition warfare. You're trying to make sure that Beasty is losing more than he's able to recover in a specified amount of time, and you just slowly grind him down. It's probably the story here. There's nothing at the back once again.
He has to go wrapping east. If he goes wrapping east, he'll find all the eco. But he has to sneak this. The problem is he's moving past buildings. Beasty should be able to wrap, but he might be distracted. A pushing coming in from the front side. He's going deep. He has to know it's the finite resources. Gold, stone, that's his target. Beasty in the meantime.
Oh, look at the counter attack. Uh-oh. Many of those villagers are heavily damaged.
Lightstack!
Close your eyes, kids.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Oh.
Runs away. Oh, good
Let's
God.
go.
Meanwhile, on the base, though, flank attack comes in. B yells happy B-Day as he jumps in on Beasty's reserves. Gold and Stone going to be exposed. Reactionary force coming in. Nesta B's moving across. Good rotation out from Beasty. In time will get away. Multiple pronged assaults, attack and defense from both sides. Beasty looking to retract away from this just in time before the Nesta Bees would make it a little bit too painful.
Gold mine still with 3,000 gold in it, but it now is abandoned by B, who is now going for the sacred sites. Eco's getting closer and closer, though. That's the scary thing here for B. Beasty is recovering. He's losing villagers, but he's recovering those numbers faster than he's losing them. And at the end of the day, he's still the one sitting on 4 sacred sites. But now, Beasty, or B rather, starts the sacred site countdown. So B, he's gonna have to just hold this for 10 minutes. Beasty needs to come out, indeed.
Honestly, playing HRE in this situation past Swabia, it's like when you have a kid and you discover one of those loopholes that means that you actually get more from the government than your kid costs per month. Like, it's past Swabia is just still really ridiculously powerful, and you're seeing the effect of it in this game. Like, when he lost that past Swabia, a lot of players were GG'd out. But you know what I love? You know what I love that Beasty's teaching here? It ain't over until it's over. 92% of players competitive in this game would have called GG, what, about like 15 minutes ago when B was flooding through the base? But Beasty, with his MVP tower and his recovery of his Swabia, is turning this around. And although the timer has started, B is far from out of the woods yet. Will tech up. Love this, by the way. Yuan Dynasty, highly underrated by Chinese players. Those past guard you've been relying on so heavily are now two-legged cavalry.
Not just the Yuan Dynasty, it's the vision as well. As Core is showing us, the active ability of that Imperial Palace will allow you to show all the villagers that Beasty has. And that's a key piece of information for B. He just wants to shut down that economy as much as possible. Plus, we shouldn't underestimate the possibility of going for the Fire Lancers here even, and possibly attempting a landmark snipe now.
You're right, Fire Lancers could come into the equation, would be a cheap solution with limited gold as well. Passguard in the meantime, zooming about, almost as quick as heavy cavalry now. And the Culverins, a pristine, valuable target to hone your sights upon. Bombards though,
oh, beautiful surround!
Langstecker in! B didn't realize it. He's gonna get caught up here, he's gonna get pinched. Nestaby's there to back up. Passguard holding in the meantime, and the Bombards will survive despite the mixing of Langsteck. Limited damage done by Beasty, and now a second wave coming in from B.
Yeah, emergency repairs popping out on that keep, but look at the counterattacks here by Beastyqt, continuously slaying the gold miners of B, but you still have to find a way to buffer this up. Culverin is getting taken down by the palace guards, opening it up for those bombards to move in.
It's the bull and all as well. These Langsteck can't dive keeps. Keeps are the solution. Langsteck, even when you elite them up, 105 health on these units is pathetic. It doesn't last long enough. And now you're not outlasting these bombards. The extra range makes them a lethal dose of pain, even for the anti-siege.
Palace guard numbers still looking good here. Beastyqt is down to just 8 men-at-arms and 8 Landsknechte. I think he's also missing elite army tactics as well. Culverin still keeping him alive to at least a certain extent, but if that keep falls, he's gonna be in big trouble. And indeed, no elite army tactics out here for a fully infantry-based composition, making Beasty's defense even weaker than it is right now.
Oh my. Langsteck especially would benefit from that. Langsteck right now don't really get to benefit from anything but going to meet their maker sooner. And wait, B. He's coming in. He's like, Beasty, you lost one of your relics. Beasty,
Yoink!
Would you like it? Would you like to come and get it? Because you only have siege and melee units.
Yoinkity yoink,
Oh
says B. And it's getting more concerning for Beasty because that's just one relic taken away. How about taking away the 2 relics in the Regnitz Cathedral as the bombards are setting up to take down that second landmark?
It's more than that as well, Lidakor. How about 1 relic holding you hostage because you're HRE and only have melee? Beasty, he sees the writing on the wall, an absolute bloodbath in 4 Lakes as B will take the 3rd game and proceed through. Beasty knocked out.
What a set did we have just witnessed here? Absolute madness. From game number 1 to game number 3, very much back and forth. This game was just a cherry on top of the cake. Spectacular show from both sides. And B, I'm very curious about the amount of food that he has gathered in this game, because let's not forget, this guy has been on triple ponds fishing with 50 plus fishing ships for possibly more than 25-30 minutes. Look at that discrepancy! Whoa!
Gold as well. Get more farm than China. I dare you. It ain't easy, folks. B, what a way to win this. And you know, I'm just going to bluntly say it. Like, I think some people with that early game, the mess that was the towers, they're going to be like, oh, this is ridiculous. Towers everywhere. But it didn't define the game. The game went so much later than that. It had so many layers. This, to me, embodies Age of Empires 4 as like what I want it to be, if that makes sense, right? Where you can't just come in and say, well, they're going to do this and that and this, and then the game is over. There were so many switch arounds in this game. There was so much back and forth. Like, it was never really clearly over until probably the last 5 minutes of this game. And that is the beauty of Age of Empires 4, when you get to witness games like this.